Okay, so let's go ahead and let's spawn the two block avoids here. Now, in order to do that, we need to add in a timer here, okay? So the timer, okay, is going to be a couple things. First of all, we need a timer and then we need to move it. Okay, so we're going to use two different functions here. So functions here, we'll say timer spawn block avoids. So we'll do it both in one timer here. So we're going to say let wait is equal to skaction.wait for durations, and we're going to go to block spawn time. Okay, that way we can go and change the amount that we want. We're going to say let drop is equal to skaction.run block, and we're going to say that this is this is going to be a lot of curly brackets here. So let's just take our time and make sure we get this right. We're going to say if is game over is double equal to false. Okay, so we're going to make sure that we're only running this if game over is equal to false. If it's equal to true, we're not going to spawn anything, right? So if you lose the game, we're not going to spawn anything. Okay, and within here, we're going to add in a for underscore in one dot dot dot, and then we're going to go block spawn amount. Okay, and we need another curly bracket here, and I'm just making sure that the formatting looks good. It may seem not important, but making your project look good is actually super important. Okay, self dot spawn block void 1, and then we're going to go to self dot spawn block void 2. Now what this does here is that every 1 second it will spawn one of these two objects here. If you set this block spawn amount to 2, it will spawn 2 of each, etc. So that's something that's actually kind of neat. We need to put this in a sequence, so we're going to say let sequence is equal to skaction.sequence, and we're going to say this is wait, then drop. Perfect. Self.runAction, and we're going to say that this is skaction.repeatAction forever. Okay, and we're going to say this is sequence. Now we can get away with forever because we added in this game state variable here. This if statement makes sure that even though it's repeating, it might not do anything. Okay, and the lag is not as important here. So we'll, at this point in time, we'll spawn it. But what will happen here is we need to move the blocks left and right here. So let's go ahead and let's go and add in a function here. We'll call this move block avoid. And in here, we're going to say let move right. And we're going to do this all in one function here. We're going to say skaction dot move to x. So remember, x is across and y is up and down. So we're going to move this across the screen. We're going to move it to 700. Okay, that's moving it to the right. And the duration is going to block avoid speed. So we do have a speed that's set here. We're going to say let move left is equal to skaction dot move to x, and we're going to move it to, well, we could probably make it -10, and then again we're going to use block avoid speed. Pretty cool stuff. All right, and then we're going to say let destroy is equal to skaction dot remove from parent. That's fancy computer SpriteKit speed to it's fancy speak to just say remove it or destroy it. All right, so now that we got all that here, we're going to say let sequence, we'll make it sequence 1 is equal to skaction.sequence, and we're going to say that the sequence is, in this case, move right, and then when it gets there, we're going to go destroy. Okay, we're going to say let sequence 2 is equal to skaction.sequence, and we're going to say that in here it's going to be move left, then destroy. So if you don't destroy it, it creates more lag. Even though smartphones are pretty good here, you should always be concerned about lag. All right, next thing we're going to do is we're going to say block avoid 1 dot run action. Now remember, you always use the run action with the specific object if you want that object to do something. So we're going to say skaction.repeat action forever, and that action is going to be sequence 1. Okay, we're going to go block of void 2 is equal to, or dot run action is sk action dot repeat action forever, and it's going to be sequence 2. Now what we need to do is we need to go up to the top here. Okay, and let's hop up to the top here, and we're going to say timer, and then in here we're going to say we do have that timer here at the bottom. So spawn block of void 2, it's going to be timer spawn block of void. So you can even just copy and paste that and move it up to the top here. Okay, now you're wondering, wait a minute, these block of voids aren't doing anything. We never called that function. And you're totally right if you're thinking that right now, because at the end of each of these block of voids, you have to call move block of void. So at the end of each of these two, we'll call this move block of void, and what that will do is that will move the block of void left or right with the timer. So there we go. All right, this concludes the tutorial.